Okay, you'll grab your tea and take a seat because what we are about to unpack today is arguably one of the most heartbreaking, baffling, and completely suspicious cases the internet has seen in a very long time. Welcome back to Publicists Nightmare, where we read between the lines of the headlines that PR teams desperately want you to forget. Today, we have to talk about Miami lifestyle influencer Ashlee Robinson, better known to a massive following as Ashlee Jenae. Ashlee went on what was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, a luxurious birthday getaway to Zanzibar, Tanzania, complete with safari and a surprise proposal. But just days after saying yes to the man of her dreams, she was found dead in her hotel room. The official story? Authorities and her fiancé are claiming she took her own life. But let me tell you right now, the math is completely not mathing, and her family, her friends, and the entire internet are calling absolute BS on this narrative. Let's rewind and look at the facts, because there's a massive trail of red flags, missing money, and eerie arguments that nobody is talking about. We need to get this story out there, raise awareness, and demand justice for Ashlee. So, who was Ashlee Robinson? At just 31 years old, Ashlee Jenae was a blueprint for the soft life philosophy. She was a deeply loved, vibrant lifestyle influencer based out of Miami. Your girl was building a serious empire. She was known for her flawless travel content, high-end luxury fashion, and modeling. She had even been featured in a few music videos. She was ambitious, driven, and by all accounts from the people who actually knew her, she was deeply in love with life. She had everything going for her. She was literally at the peak of her glowing era. Enter the fiancé, Joe McCann. Now, this is where the story takes a sharp left turn into murky waters. Joe McCann is not just some random guy with a 9-to-5. He is a heavy hitter in the crypto and finance world. Joe is the founder, CEO, and chief investment officer of a crypto hedge fund called Asymmetric Financial. He is a former Wall Street guy, a former senior director at Microsoft, and he had backing from absolute titans in the tech industry like Mark Andreessen and Chris Dixon. During their entire relationship, which blossomed heavily over the last couple of years, Joe was known for completely spoiling Ashlee. We're talking 5-star resorts, designer bags, the absolute works. To the outside world, they look like the ultimate power couple, the successful tech bro and the stunning lifestyle influencer. But behind the scenes, Joe's empire was allegedly crumbling. Listen to me very carefully, because this detail changes everything. In 2025, just last year, Joe McCann's Liquid Alpha Trade fund completely imploded. Reports state that his fund lost a staggering 78% of its value year-to-date. We are talking about over $100 million in estimated losses. He blamed low volatility and market conditions, but the reality is, this man was facing catastrophic financial ruin and intense professional pressure right before this trip even happened. Keep that in your mind as we move forward. A man under hundreds of millions of dollars worth of pressure, taking his girlfriend on a lavish African safari. Fast forward to April 2026. The couple flies to Tanzania to celebrate Ashlee's 31st birthday. They are staying in a breathtaking luxury villa at Zanzibar. On April 3rd, right in the middle of a beautiful wildlife safari, Joe proposes. She says yes. 2 days later, on April 5th, her actual birthday, Ashlee uploads what would tragically be her final Instagram post. It's a gorgeous photo of a bed covered in rose petals spelling out her age. Her caption read, Chapter 31, I'm exactly where I need to be. Does that sound like a woman who is secretly plotting to end her life? A woman who just got engaged, celebrating her birthday in paradise, proclaiming to the world that she is exactly where she wants to be? According to Tanzanian authorities in Joe McCann's camp, just a few days after that post, Ashlee hung herself with a piece of cloth in their hotel room. But as the details leak out, the story gets darker, and quite frankly, incredibly suspicious. Allegedly, on the night before she was found, Ashlee and Joe got into a massive, explosive argument. It was so bad that hotel staff actually had to intervene. Let me repeat that. Staff had to intervene. The altercation was reportedly reported to local police, and for the remainder of the night, the couple was separated. He went to one room, and she stayed in another. Now here's the part that has me, and the rest of the internet, completely unhinged. The narrative being spun is that during this argument, Ashlee exhibited suicidal red flags, and that these concerns were actually relayed to the police. Okay, Let's pause right there. If you believe your brand new fiancé is in a state of crisis, to the point where she might take her own life, why on earth is she left entirely alone in a room? How is someone who is allegedly a danger to themselves left completely unchecked, with zero supervision, in a foreign country thousands of miles away from her family? On April 9th, she was found unconscious in her room. And this is another crucial detail. She was reportedly still alive when they found her. They rushed her to a local Tanzanian hospital, but tragically, her death was confirmed hours later. Almost immediately, the Zanzibar police and Joe McCann's team pushed the narrative of suicide by hanging. But Ashlee's inner circle? They are not having it. Not for one single second. Her closest friend immediately took to X, formerly Twitter, and shut the rumors down, tweeting, "We need justice of my friend Ashlee Jenae, who was found dead in a hotel room in Tanzania." And her fiancé, Joe McCann, claimed she hung herself. Anyone who knows Ash would know she would never commit suicide. We need answers now. And then, her deeply grieving family released an official, heartbreaking statement. I want to read this to you all in its entirety because their voices need to be heard. They wrote, Ashlee Robinson was on what should have been one of the happiest trips of her life. A birthday celebration in Zanzibar, Africa. Ashlee's birthday was April 5th. She just turned 31. Surrounded by beauty, love, and wildlife, she became engaged during a safari, an unforgettable moment that marked the start of a future she was excited to build. She and her fiancé Joe McCann were staying in a luxury villa at Zanzibar, continuing what we believed was her dream trip. But just days later, that dream turned into our family's worst nightmare. Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. Nothing about this loss feels real. One moment she was celebrating love and life in truly Ashlee fashion, and the next she was gone. The subtleness of the unanswered questions and the distance from home has made this tragedy even more overwhelming for our family. At this moment, there is an active investigation into the circumstances surrounding Ashlee's suspicious passing. Although we have many questions, we are placing our trust in the officials in Zanzibar, and we are working closely with them as we seek clarity and answers. Ashlee was deeply loved. She was vibrant, full of life, and had so much ahead of her. Our family is completely devastated, and we appreciate the prayers and compassion we have received as we navigate this unimaginable loss. We respect and ask that any information not directly provided by our family be treated as unverified and not considered factual at this time. Did you catch the specific wording the family used? Suspicious passing. They are literally calling it suspicious in their official press release. They are halfway across the world, dealing with international authorities and trying to piece together how a vibrant, happy 31-year-old woman celebrating her engagement ends up dead after a violent argument with a man whose business empire just lost $100 million. I need you all to understand the power dynamics here. You have a woman in a foreign country, completely isolated from her support system. And you have a man who is incredibly wealthy, or at least was incredibly wealthy, with heavy institutional connections, powerful tech backing, and a vested interest in keeping this story as quiet and neat as possible. The fact that Joe McCann has not been charged with anything, and that local authorities were so quick to rule it a suicide despite the family's outcries, has the internet in an absolute uproar. People are demanding an independent autopsy. People are demanding that the FBI step in because this involves an American citizen dying under heavily disputed circumstances on foreign soil. If this argument was bad enough for hotel security to intervene, what really happened in that room? If she was suicidal, why didn't Joe stay with her, or insist on a medical hold, instead of just going to sleep in another room? Why did a man who lost 78% of his hedge fund take his girlfriend to Africa and propose just days before her tragic end? There are too many dark shadows in this story, and the suicide label feels like a massive rug being thrown over a crime scene. Ashlee deserved the beautiful future she was so excited to build. She did not deserve to become a PR nightmare or a swept under the rug headline. We are going to keep our eyes glued to this case, and the second there is a development, a leak, or an official update from the family, you know I will bring it straight to you. I need you guys in the comments right now. What do you think really happened in that villa? Do you buy the authorities' ruling, or are you standing with Ashlee's family? Let me know your theories down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video to help push Ashlee's story into the algorithm, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.